Prepare your wallets, because it looks like Apple is going to have a massive 2022 with what could be one of their most exciting product launch lineups in years, with 4 new M2 Macs, 4 new iPhone 14 models, new iPads, new AirPods, and even a new HomePod. Wait, a new HomePod? Tim Cook, have you been reading my letters? Hey, what's going on, everyone? Greg here. And if you can't tell, I'm really excited for Apple in 2022 because what started off as a somewhat slow year sounds like it's going to ramp up towards the end of this year with all of these new products. So if you aren't subscribed yet, go ahead and get subscribed and go on and comment right down below and let me know what Apple product you're looking forward to the most this year. Is this a trick for more engagement? Yes, it is. But did it work? Did my call for a comment actually work, or were you too smart to fall for the algorithmic tricks? Actually, my audience is pretty smart, so you probably didn't comment. All right, enough with the preamble. We got a lot to cover in this video, so no jokes. All right, first of all, let's start with the iPhone 14. I mean, out of all the Apple products Apple could announce this year, the iPhone 14 is like a dead certainty at this point, and the release date is all but set in stone, with Apple prepping for their usual September keynote to announce 4 new iPhone models. This time around, though, there will be a shakeup in the lineup, with the iPhone 13 mini going away and being replaced by a bigger 6.7-inch sized iPhone 14 Max, so the lineup should be an iPhone 14 at $799, an iPhone 14 Max at $899, and then we will get 2 Pro versions of those phones, the iPhone 14 Pro and of course the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now, the iPhone 14 is rumored to actually be a pretty small update, with pretty much the same design as the 13, the same A15 chip as the 13 Pro, and possibly even smaller camera upgrades than what the Pro model is likely to receive. In fact, it seems like most of the major updates are being saved for the Pro model, with the Pro receiving a brand new design with a hole punch and pill-shaped cutout, basically like a giant eye at the top, and a faster new A16 chip, and a massive upgrade to the camera system with a brand new 48 megapixel sensor, the first megapixel change since the iPhone 6S. Apple does not change megapixel count all that often. So that in itself should signal that the camera upgrades this year are going to be really impressive. But impressive upgrades come at a cost, because one negative rumor for the Pro series of phones this year is that they're going to be increasing in price by $100 each. So the 6.1-inch iPhone 14 Pro will be $1,099, and the 14 Pro Max will be $1,199. Yikes. Going along with the iPhone 14 announcement, we can also expect a new Apple Watch Series 8 this year, with possibly a flatter redesign, a new body temperature sensor, and unfortunately it's rumored to be using the same S7 chip as last year, meaning the Series 8 will still have the same processing power as the Series 6, although it is rumored to feature a new low power mode that could extend the battery life even longer. There's also rumors of a new Apple Watch SE with the same S8 chip as the Series 8, a new rugged edition of the Series 8, which will have increased durability, and I just did a video on what to expect with the Series 8 and all of these announcements, so if you want to catch up even more with my opinions on the slower processor, check out the video here, and if not, well, let's move along. We got a lot more to talk about. Okay, I think at this September event, it's possible we could see at least 2 more products announced. The first would be a second generation of AirPods Pro. This will be a big upgrade with an update to the H1 chip, with possibly a new LC3D codec and Bluetooth 5.2 support for AirPods Pro, with higher bandwidth for AirPods Pro to take advantage of higher music quality with Apple Music's new lossless playback. The case of AirPods 2 could also feature a speaker to play a sound from, specifically for the Find My feature, and the case itself could be the first pair of AirPods to feature a USB-C connector in place of the Lightning port, and it's rumored that Apple plans to eventually make the iPhone 15 and all future devices have support for USB-C as well. So if we do see AirPods 2 get USB-C, I think the writing is pretty much on the wall that we will be getting that iPhone 15 with the USB-C port. So that in itself would be pretty exciting to see on AirPods Pro. And just in general, AirPods Pro are an amazing device. I use them almost every single day. And with better Bluetooth support with higher bandwidth music, I mean, sign me up. I'll be buying a pair immediately. I love my AirPods. I love my AirPods. Now, a last-minute product that could be revealed at this event is something really surprising. A brand new HomePod. Yes, this would be the first full-size HomePod since Apple discontinued it in 2021. This HomePod is codenamed B620, and it would use the same exact S8 chip that is found in the Series 8 Apple Watch, which doesn't sound too far-fetched considering that the HomePod Mini actually uses the Apple Watch Series 5 processor. Mark Gurman says that according to his sources, this HomePod would be closer in size to the original HomePod and would feature similar audio performance, and it would even feature an updated display on the top of the HomePod with possibly new multi-touch functionality. Honestly, a new HomePod is exactly what I want. I'm sorry, I know this product was a flop when it first came out, but I still have a pair of original HomePods and they just sound so good. If they ever break and there's no replacement for them, I'm going to be very, very sad. And do you want to see me sad? Do you really want to see me sad? What kind of sick individual are you? Anyway, I really do want another full-size HomePod, and I think it could be a successful product if they release it at a friendlier price point. It seems like the $99 price point for the HomePod Mini was the right price for that product, and it seems to be selling much better than the original HomePod. I think a full-size HomePod at $200 or at the most $250 would be the right price point for that product, and it could make a world of difference for the sales of that HomePod. And just for me, I really want a new HomePod so I can buy even more full-size HomePods because I like the sound quality of them and I am willing to pay more money to get that Apple built-in experience, especially with Apple Music now supporting lossless and especially with spatial audio. The HomePod Mini doesn't even support a lot of the spatial audio features that the regular full-size HomePod, the original one, does. So let's get a full-size HomePod out there. It's been too long since we've had one. Okay, now sometime during September, or perhaps after this event, Apple also is rumored to be updating their base level iPad, and this one actually sounds like a pretty meaningful update. Now, according to rumors, the new iPad will get a bigger 10.5-inch display, come with a new A14 chip, and perhaps most exciting of all, it is rumored to be replacing the Lightning port for a USB-C port. That definitely seems to be the trend with Apple products. Now, the most exciting part about this iPad getting USB-C is that it likely means a body design update for this iPad, because if it does support USB-C, it would also have to support the second generation Apple Pencil. Although it will be interesting to see how this design looks. If it uses a similar design to the iPad Air, that could mean even bigger bezels all around the device, and I guess that would look okay for an entry-level product. But there's also the possibility that it could maybe use the older iPad Air design, the one that came with like a 10.5-inch display. I think that was like the third generation. However, that means it wouldn't feature flat sides, so I'm not sure how they would charge the second generation Apple Pencil. Perhaps Apple could overcome this by making some concessions and maybe putting the magnetic charging connection on the back of the iPad. But either way, an entry-level iPad that's still $329 with an A14 chip, USB-C, and a second generation Apple Pencil, that is going to be a hard device to beat in terms of its combination of price, performance, and capabilities. And if Apple can also bring over Magic Keyboard support with the trackpad to that base level iPad, that is going to be an amazing product. Like I would have to recommend that to everyone if it keeps that $329 price point. But there's other iPads to be updated as well, the iPad Pros. And, well, those are reportedly coming by the end of this year as well, and Gurman is saying that Apple is working on 2 new iPad Pros. Who would have guessed, right? The codenames are J617 and J620, and these would be the 11 and 12.9-inch versions of the iPad Pro, complete with, you guessed it, the M2 chip, and hey, maybe they even feature MagSafe charging on the back of the device. One bit of sad news though is that all of the rumors regarding these new iPad Pros always suggest that the mini LED display will remain an exclusive on the 12.9-inch version, and the 11-inch will still just have a regular ProMotion LCD display. I really love the mini LED display on the iPad Pro, even though I'm not using it as much, so if that rumor turns out to be true again, I guess I'd have to go with the 12.9 again. I really like the mini LED display. I don't want to sacrifice that display quality. So I kind of want to go smaller on the iPad this time, but I really want mini LED. All right, now you know I saved the best for last. That's because I want to keep you watching. Are you still watching? Let me know in the comments below. This is a loyalty test, and I demand the utmost loyalty from the Greg heads. All right, so yes, to round out this year, Gurman is saying to expect 4 new M2 Macs. I expect we would see these Macs at maybe a separate October or November event, and these new M2 Macs would come first with a brand new M2 Mac Mini and an M2 Pro Mac Mini. I recently did a video on this topic as well if you want further information, but basically the M2 Mac Mini would be just an updated version of the Mac Mini with the brand new M2 chip, complete with specifications of 2 terabytes of storage and up to 24 gigabytes of memory. The more interesting product might actually be the M2 Pro Mac Mini, which could feature more ports than the regular M2 model, primarily with more Thunderbolt ports and possibly an SD card slot, as well as it having the more powerful M2 Pro chip, which would now feature a 12-core CPU instead of a 10-core CPU, and it would go all the way up to a 19-core GPU. And if it follows the M2 upgrade path, perhaps we could even see more maximum memory. If it just goes up in 8 gigabytes, that would be 40 gigabytes of max memory, likely making this Mac Mini a powerful desktop choice at a more affordable price point than something like the Mac Studio. For price to performance, it might be unbeatable. Besides a new Mac Mini, Apple is also planning on updating the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros with the new M2 Pro and the M2 Max chip. Like I said before, the M2 Pro chip will feature a 12-core CPU, increasing the single-core and multi-core performance significantly. The M2 Max chip would feature an even more powerful GPU with possibly a 38 GPU core count. Again, if we get the same memory bump as the M2, Apple could bump up memory options from 64 gigabytes of maximum memory to up to 80 gigabytes of maximum memory. And the most interesting thing about these M2 Pro and M2 Max chips for these laptops is that they might be built on the newer 3nm process rather than the 5nm process that the base M2 was built at. So these will be really powerful and really efficient chips. These sound like the true M2 chip upgrades, and it could be a lot more powerful than we were previously expecting. Finally, the last Mac that needs to make the jump over to Apple Silicon will finally get its day in the spotlight. That's right, the all-new Apple Silicon Mac Pro, which will come with a brand new M2 Ultra and a new M2 Extreme chip. Based on the rumors, the M2 Extreme should be 2 M2 Ultra chips put together, which is really 2 M2 Max chips put together. So I guess technically an M2 Extreme would be 4 M2 Max chips put together? Either way, with an M2 Extreme chip, this would give us, what, a 48-core CPU and a 76-core GPU? The only question I have now is, how much of a traditional desktop tower will this new Mac Pro be? Will we actually get some upgradable parts with storage and memory, or dare I say graphics cards? Well, I'm not so sure on the GPU front, but I think the other components, like storage memory, there's a good chance we may be able to upgrade or replace it. But there is so much unknown about this Mac Pro, and for it being unknown, that kind of makes it really exciting. We really have no idea what Apple is going to do here, so I am really excited to see this Mac Pro, even though I probably won't be buying one, because the Mac Studio I have now is, let's face it, I don't need a Mac Studio. But I'll definitely want a Mac Pro. I'll stare at it longingly from a distance. Just like you guys stare longingly at me from a distance, right? 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 Or maybe you want to stare longingly at a new 7K display that Apple might be offering to replace the current 6K Pro Display XDR that could be introduced right alongside this Mac Pro. Now, I'm expecting a lot of new display tech in this display with a new mini LED display that should make the picture quality even better than the Pro Display XDR, with better HDR, with more control in the zone lighting, with less haloing than the previous monitor. I would expect this to be pretty pricey though. I mean, it will probably have the same $5,000 price tag as the current Pro Display, and that might not even include the stand, especially considering that the Studio display is still $1,600, so this is definitely going to be priced way above that. But hey, I'm a sucker for Apple displays, and I might actually consider this outrageous display. Maybe I'd purchase that instead of the Mac Pro. Either way, this is pretty much the entire product roadmap for the rest of 2022, and that's a lot of Apple products coming out in the second half of this year, and believe it or not, we are only about 2 months away from a potential Apple September event. So to stay informed, hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, well, you made it this far, so liking this video helps out the channel, so why wouldn't you do it? So yeah, do that, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I wish I could thank each and every single one of you individually if I could, because, you know, this isn't possible without all your support. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Oh, new Apple TV. New Apple TV. I forgot about that. Might see a new Apple TV. A14 chip, more RAM. Do you need that on Apple TV? No. But Apple will sell it to you.